welcome back. This is Filth with a new collection, the third one in a series of catching up, and I promise this is kind of the last one, I think. And we will be done by the end of this. A warning for viewers, this is going to be what is henceforth known as a green circle video. We're going to talk about the darker sides of black metal. So yeah, fair warning. We are listening to Virulent Spectre with Aromatic Spawn of Abject Darkness and Filth that came out on Esfinge Calavera, I think. Esfinge de la Calavera, yes, a Spanish label. This is the one of the projects from the Arid stable, if you will. Here we go, number one. This came from a tape order I did from not Skierreich, but Zwartkunst Smederij. I don't know how he sends this out because there's no stamp on anything. There's just this weird looking cipher and it arrives, so yeah. What was in there, and we'll play through them all because I think the next one logically will be a tape delay. What was in here was this one, like I said, the Virulent Spectre. Then the new Fur or Vig with the Hellekerkers. This one that will be playing next. And then the last one will be Trollskogen Orcish Battleground. This is an older tape that has been re-released, highly sought after, I imagine. But this is, I'll get into it when we're playing it, but it's a fan club edition that Zwartkunst Smederij was distributing for, I guess, the band. There you go. So that is what we'll be playing. Like I said, a green circle or an emerald circle edition, if you will. There's going to be some, like I said, darker sides. I stayed away from NS-themed stuff, from the more political side of black metal, just because I don't have any interest in the ideology. But in some cases, like Kristallnacht passed, there's some more stuff that passed that is in that camp. I was noticing while delving in deeper and diving in deeper into the history of black metal that you can't keep avoiding it. Like I said, I never was political on this channel. I won't be now. It is just, if you dive into the French, for example, which we will do today for a little bit, yeah, you stumble upon it very fast. But it's a small part of the entire thing. It sounds like an excuse, but I don't really care. That being said, yeah, it is fucked up. But here we go. Before we delve in completely or dive in completely, I'm going to skim some of these bands because when I really get entrenched in them and when I really start digging up scenes like the Green Emerald and yeah, other stuff like the Bladebird Hall, things like that, I am now talking about them on the surface, and I'll try to go deeper and deeper when I find stuff that interests me. There are no gifts for this one, but what we will have in the first part, and we're going to start very slowly getting into some of this stuff, so the first half will be okay. Although this first band also had some troubles in the past. This is a trade I did with the guy behind Zwarte Dood. He had some stuff I was always on the lookout for, Lugubrum material, and he had a shirt that he was parting with and a original flyer from Skramma Sax Records. This is the newsletter they did for 99. And this is to let people know that they played the live shows. The Lourbourgs Festival at the 17th October, which was, unfortunately, the band had too much to drink, so things got a bit messy, especially for Barditus, who had to be reanimated. So yeah. Then the performance given at Frontline in Ghent, which we talked about in the videos, but it's cool to finally see it. They are also wrapping the totem that will come out as the ultimate in Bursk black metal forever. But yeah, ZD, thank you very much for these pieces, for the Lugubrum Museum, as you coined it so perfectly. Yeah, it is. I've always seen it online, but never saw it in real life. He even has the same drum as me on that picture. That Jim Jones looking live picture. And then there is an order page You can order from Torenvliet, PO Box 5 in Lovendegem, Belgium. The Winterstones 95 for 200 Belgian francs. A shirt, Bardidos model, Lugubrum cult shirt, genuine piece of Boeg's clothing. Urine stains are optional, only in large. Will last a lifetime. 400 Belgian francs. Then the Gedachte en Geheugen for 300 Belgian francs. Too extreme for many. Discomfort and damaged speakers guaranteed, essential. And then the split between Lugubrum and Sudarium from 98, 400 Belgian francs. So that is an expensive one. There you go, the Zuivering. So yeah, cool to finally have this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It should be in a frame, but it is two sides, so we'll see. What else did he have for me? He had the Zuivering shirt. There you go, this one. Classic, yeah. Classic image, and on the back it finally we have arrived. It is the Beers or Die logo or the drawing. So yeah, incredibly nice to finally put some extra stuff that is not just records in the collection. That was the trade part. While Virulent Spectre is blasting, I always thought it was the previous ones were more ambient, but seems I'm mistaken because this is harsh material. Cheers to the Lugubrum. We're drinking. Well, what else? There you go. Yeah, let's delve in. We did the caveats, we did everything we needed to do. What decided that I've been, if you are following the channel, we have been delving into the past for a while now, more than, I would say, 2 or 3 years ago even. I think the focus has shifted from just going all over the place. You don't see too much death metal or any other material. There was a period where I was not showing it. Now I'm just not buying it anymore and thinking of selling huge parts of that collection just because I need to focus on one part, and that part will be the history and in some cases the scene that is going on right now. But yeah, the focus will be heavily into the past. But let's start off with 5 records that are more current. I'll show the 2 first and 2 packages. This is from the previous Black Gangrene drop, and this is Consumatio with the Salit, I think. Here you go, from 22. And then this one is Luminous Transfixion with Elevation Within the Mists of Naltra. There we go. Both on Black Gangrene. These are records that were first put out on tape and then released through Black Gangrene on vinyl. The first one was on Death Prayer, and that is this one, Consumatio. Am I saying that right? Yes, with Desavio. There is not much I can say about these records, simply because they don't give out too much information. The first one is a raw Portuguese black metal records, and this one is, out of the 2, my favorite one. It has 3 tracks on here, quite lengthy tracks. Tormenta, Transformacao, I think, and Saudade. Oh no, it has 5 tracks, sorry. Deludio and Finalidade. There's the back with the track listing. What did I write down? Yeah, the logo is by Ainul. He keeps popping up. He always has these details going in there, an eye or another logo, but yeah, always cool logo material. It is raw, hazy, but it's actually a good record. It kind of goes not all over the place, but it has a lot of variation. It is well played, but it is in the sense, it is one of those, let's call it a half-hour mark records where it just, yeah, it's raw black metal. There's nothing more I can say about it. They don't give any information about the band. Besides that, it's from Portugal. It kind of has a Plexilese kind of sound, but it's more adventurous, if you will. It has more ebb and flow. It is not as straightforward. So there is some musicality to it, but it reminds of that scene or of that artist. Record is just black. There you go, nothing too special. It starts with these ocean sounds that are running throughout the entire record. It deals with rain, and it kind of gives me the vibe of Uvia mixed with something like Bordas Roop. You have to look at or search in those parts to know what sound this is. Anything more? No. The drum is a bit too buried in this one, which is a shame because it's actually for a one-man project, it's very well played. That's all I can say. I can say even less about this one, Luminous Transfixion, Elevation Within the Mists of Natra. This was put out on tape, and I actually have this double, so one is definitely going, I think, the tape version. It came out on Perished Soil, I'm pretty sure. Did I write it down? Yes, Perished Soil and Altar. I think I have the Altar edition, so if you're looking for that one. This has a bunch of tracks on here, also 5, but it's long tracks. Layout, once again, by Mr. Iblis. Hateful North, Luminous Entities in the Mist, all instruments and vocals. It is a raw US black metal project, but yeah, the drumming drives me crazy because it has these, the snare is blasting as if it's life depending on it, but the bass just does these steady single kicks that just, it's such a mismatch. I don't know what's happening. It is, I don't see it on here, maybe on the, no, there's no inserts, I think. It was dedicated to Lamb, and you have to look into the more chaotic stuff that Lamb has been doing or was doing to kind of get this, to kind of get the sound of this one. It's a bit more out of the deep than what he was doing, but it's in that realm. Yeah, the drumming just puts me off. So I listened to it, I think 2 times, and then I just had to let it go just because of that. It's such a dissonant sound when the drum doesn't. Maybe I just don't get it. I mean, comparing it to Lamb, I didn't get Lamb the first few listens, so we'll see. Maybe I'll give it another shot. But yeah, of the 2, I think this one is the superior record, if you will. If you have to get one, you don't have to get anything, but if you want one or the 2, get that one. Let's see what else we have. I'm dropping the records, I think. Yes, in good style, of course. Then we are staying in the US for the next one, and this is Tra, I think is how you pronounce it, and I have to get open my phone for the titles, because I don't think they will be represented on the records. 1 minute, there you go. So yeah, Tra, the band out of this once again is raw black metal from the US. Let's start with the first one. Once again, I have this double. It is hard to keep track of all the releases they are doing. This is called Neven Lanech, I think. Tra is written T-R-H and then A with an umlaut or a double point on it. I have this through Altar once again, and it will be for sale, I think, the tape version, because the vinyl version is actually more handier. The tape version is a big wooden box with all kinds of stuff in it. But yeah, this is the first one they ever did. This came out, I'm sorry, I think 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, April 2020. If you don't know Tra, in the 2 years they have existed, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 splits, 5, 6 EPs, full lengths, just recorded material, 6 outputs, I would call it. Record-wise or vinyl-wise, they're all on Ixiol. This one, a rather new American label. Tape-wise, they are on, I have to, Labyrinth Tower, I think, and then Babylon Doomcult is doing the distribution for them. What this is I think the way they are titling everything and the names is kind of a way of magic writing, if you will. Profondes talked about it too. It is just mixing letters into a word, and then you have this unknown word or a word that doesn't exist, which holds magical components. But yeah, I think that is, it's not a language I know or ever heard of, but yeah, navel lying, something like that. This is the first thing they ever dropped, and this is a double LP. Really love that piece of artwork there. The lamp, Ya Tet Aleph. Once again, it's unreadable. All the lyrics are unreadable, so it's hard to, yeah, to tell you something about this band, but I think a lot of people are well aware of it by now. This came out on tape, like I said, and now the vinyl version is here. Two white pieces of vinyl. Problem with these are they are so expensive. If it wasn't for Yo, I had them on pre-order because he does this pre-order system where he says, I have this, this, and this, do you want it? And I said yes. But when they came in, they were like $40 to $50 euro records, and I was like, yeah, I'll get them because I didn't want him to get stuck with them. But yeah, that's way too much for records. Sound-wise, they are, it is fast and raw black metal in essence, but it has a, and I was using air quotes, symphonic, because it's just synth work. It's not symphonic in the sense that Emperor does these or Timo Borer does these huge productions, if you will. It is just, it goes into symphonic territory, but it's actually more ambient. It has some dungeon synth here and there, I think on the first one, I'm not sure. But it's an interesting band. The problem is they just have a lot of releases and a lot of material all at once. These are the color versions. This is the green one. It seems the black editions were the more limited. I'm really not sure. But there's nothing special about these records, and I'm kind of pissed that they were that expensive. But yeah, sometimes you gamble and you lose, and not by the fact that they are bad records. It's just, it's too much money for a new record. But yeah, there you go. That is the first portion. So let's drink to that. Second week in a row that Adams has been absent from these videos. He has a lot of shit to do, and it seems I locked the door, so I just went to his place, got everything, and did this on my own. But yeah, maybe that's not a bad thing since I have to concentrate for this one. I'll see you in part 2. I'm going to take a little walk, and then we'll get on with the show. This is part 2 with some more brilliant records. We are into the, I wouldn't say misbuys, but those are the kinds of records that I'm going to stay away from. If you're into that stuff for this channel, it's going to get less and less, just because, yeah, I have to, like I said, focus. Eye flaps on and focus. What scenes I will stay on, or what artist I will follow is, and I never talked shit on Nachtlich or on the crew that is surrounded by Nachtlich, but I never got it until we talked about it. Now you have Nachtlich, which I adore by now, but then maybe there's a step up from that, and that is Black Kruud. Now I couldn't remember if I talked about this or not. This was on the way for a long time, because this is on Nistang, and they take their sweet time, or he takes a sweet time to have his records distributed in Europe. Asghar has the drop mostly. Charlie from the Crypt, for example, has them right now. I'm not sure if he was holding one copy for me, but I grabbed it from Asghar. This is called Delusions of Gangrene. And what this is one of the two guys from Nachtlich called Gamzrum, or something like it, you know, Gamzrum, something like that. It is the bigger guy of the two, I think, together with Uke Parava UE, who guests on this record, but it's basically the other guy's band. There's a bunch of splits. He had the split with Leshy last year on Dead Hymns, but this came out through Nistang, like I said. There you go, they are both credited on here, so it's basically, yeah, Nachtlich, but the difference is, where Nachtlich is more of an unhinged, more wilder and more free record, maybe. Definitely the last one. This one is unrelenting. It's the hardest and sharpest record in their catalog, I think. I haven't heard every Black Kruud record. Like I said, I just have the split with Leshy. But yeah, out of all the incarnations that both of them have together and apart, I think this is the hardest and most ferocious. It is a bit of Iljarn mixed with Central European bands from that period. It has synths on here, and I think I saw the comparison on YouTube, I think by, I don't know, Rites of Pestilence maybe, the Gabstock comparison, especially on the second track, Cacophonous Howls of the Dead. The difference is where Gabstock does 80s slasher inspired synths, these guys do 90s symphonic synths, but very reined in, very attacking, not as spun out. Yeah, it in some parts, and I think especially in the third, the Primordial Egg, it kind of starts with more ambient or more not shamanic, I would say, but it has this weird meditative quality, and then it breaks into a song that kind of feels French, but it could be due to the part that I'm listening to a lot of French black metal lately. It hits with more purpose than Nachtlich I written down. It is not as unhinged, although that his vocals, the UE or Uke Parave, his vocals are unmistakable on this thing. They have that unhinged quality on the break of, you know, lunacy. Yeah, is there anything more? It is a truly unrelenting record, so that's what I've written down. The last track, Leering Through the Skull of the Necromancer, is a more dungeon synth, I guess you could call it, but it has those, the synth sound is not dungeon synth, it has that more hazy electronic sound than most of the analog dungeon synths they are using in that pure form of dungeon synth. So yeah, they flirt with the genre without ever really diving in. But this is if you are into Nachtlich and everything they do, this is definitely recommended. And I'm not sure if you can still get it anywhere. It seems the pressing was pretty good, considering it made it all the way through to Europe and to the UK. But yeah, Black Kruud with Delusions of Gangrene, which also is a sick little title. Recommended very, very much. And like I said, these are the, yeah, there is something there that is, you can't explain. It's just it feels so respectful to what came before. It has that arcane feel in some way. It is just wild shit. That's probably what I like about it. Okay, lubrication. Well, the virulent spectre, wow, that's a hard word. Virulent spectre continues. We are going to go to Seigneur Rex, because they had a split that interested me. Drowning the Light and Evil. Drowning the Light from Australia, we talked about them last time, and Evil from Brazil. This is, I don't know too much about Evil. I know they're from, yeah, Brazil, that they are one of the NS bands, but that's basically all I know. I know Go to War did a bunch of reissues for their stuff. Yeah, this is the split between them. Let's see. Reflection of the Past from Drowning the Light, and Where the Sun Was Never Born from Evil. Evil was started 94, and then I think they're done because the end date is 2019. Asgore with Drowning the Light, and yeah, people playing with him. I think this is solo, oh no, S is guitar and drums. They started in 2003, around that time. This is mid-career for them, I would say, the thing that came out. On Dark Adversary, it has an almost melancholic sound to it. Like I said last time, I don't have too much Drowning the Light. I'm slowly getting stuff here and there just because they are reissuing a lot. It has that melancholic sound, that longing for a past, that That seems to be prevalent in a lot of stuff lately. Yeah, a past gone that is never coming back. It has very subtle parts on here. It's not always just go, go, go. It's actually very mid-paced and slow, I would say. This is the Drowning the Light side without the extras, and this is the evil side, one-man project. Inside this, there you go. I write anything down. The Brazil side, the evil side is actually clearer in sound. It has a more attacking, yeah, more attacking way of playing and more attacking sounds than the Drowning the Light. It has South American qualities that you hear in bands that go way back to, you know, Sarcophago and the other bands surrounding that scene. It has higher pitched, rough vocals, yeah, and it just blasts. That's basically the best way to describe it. It is a very rough, basic type of playing that shines through on this one. This is the, I'm not sure limitation-wise. No, I didn't write down. This is the first time that it is put out on vinyl. It came out on CD and tape, and this has an extra 7-inch where Wolf's Blood is the evil side, and the Blood for the Countess battery tribute to, yeah, to Countess battery from Drowning the Light. This is also on the same color. There you go, evil, and this one. Let's see what the inside says. Yeah, March to Darkness, Reflection of the Past. There you go. Resistant to an Empty World, Tyrant of the Carpathians. And then Blood to the Countess, Ode to Elizabeth Battery. Reflection of the Past was, I'm talking about the past, it's in the title, for crying out loud. Reflection of the Past was recorded during the haunting autumn of 2008 in the Black Temple, Asgore and As. Not As, but S. Where the Sun Was Never Born, Where Our Spirits Forever Remain was recorded during the dead of Southern Autumn in the morning winter of 2008, so both were recorded. Warlord on guitar and Voices of the Night, and Wargun on drums. So yeah, both one-man bands that got help from other stuff, but look at the cover with the shield. He always has great covers, as Gore. But yeah, a great split that finally saw the light of day on the vinyl edition, or in a vinyl edition. Then, two more that came in, and these came in, I think, yesterday, so I didn't have a lot of time. But yeah, the first one is, yeah, what to say about this one? I don't know. It's Votana, and it's basically the second one I have by them. I was looking for the title, Pestilence, I'm sorry. Sao Ben, something like that. It's in Vietnamese, but I'm not sure if this project is Vietnamese or it's US. Everything I know about it is that it is a US project. This came out of the Dungeon Records, or on Out of the Dungeon Records. I think Count Neolitos on Instagram hyped me to the fact that it was coming out. I had my eye on the label because the next record was one that I was actually waiting for. But then this popped up, and this is, like I said, my second Votana. I haven't jumped on the Votana, Atesh, that entire scene. I haven't bought everything. The records all look great, but it's just, if you have an artist that comes out with 50 records in a month, it's hard for me to keep up, and I don't know, I just lose interest. Record-wise, it looks stunning. It's all gold foil printed. There is a big text on the back that I've skimmed through. True inspiration can be traced back to the root of the source, but when it is no longer present, the cold becomes a draft. The grim becomes docile. The daring becomes doubtful. Deals with what happened in the past and how it is dealt with now. The titles are basically all in, yeah, in, I guess, Thai. I'm not sure. Ashes, Pestilence, and the other ones are too stupid to mention, but yeah, it looks great. It is a war against the Abrahamic religions, if you will, that this deals with. I thought it was going to be a double record. It seems it's just a single record. This is the Out of the Dungeon catalog. They are in, I'm not sure, Finland? I don't know where it came from. I know the shipping for the US was insanity, but saw a lot of people not complaining, but mentioning it. There you go. Classic Out of the Dungeon logo. Votana on the other one. The best memory I have from getting the first Votana record is that I got to know Mark, the unknown Kadat, on Instagram. He sold me that record because I was looking for it at the time. I don't even know the title. It's some Vietnamese shit. But yeah, I actually like the sound, so I didn't hear this one. I hadn't had the time to put it on. Yeah, simply because it came in yesterday or the day before. But yeah, looked insane. Sucker for gold foil, so I jumped on it together with this one. And this was one of the tips that, or one of the records that Bull got tipped in his top 2021, together with the Brul van Atu box set. And this is Hammergilde in Dutch with Viking or Viking, also on Out of the Dungeon Records. And he had the CD version of this, I guess, or he just heard it digitally, because this came out in the same drop as the Votana one. In geest en bloed voor een nieuwe morgenstond, Balder, Viking, uit het as van duizenden vuren, in memoriam en einde. And this is Out of the Dungeon 32. Record-wise and sleeve-wise, they are doing a magnificent job. This is a highly glossy gatefold, single pocket gatefold. The big eagle on a nice looking boat. Comes with the lyrics, they're all in Dutch, and it's sound-wise, it is very Dutch. It reminds of bands like, yeah, I can't think of the other ones, but it has more of a what is it? Gewerkt, those kind of bands that were coming out 2 years ago, maybe on New Era. It has kind of that sound, but it is played more forceful, I think. I think those bands kind of were, yeah, I don't know. This has a very forceful sound. I'm not comparing, the vocals is actually what I'm comparing it to, because if you hear those Dutch vocals, or the Holland vocals, if you will, they are also prevalent in the Zwartkunstmederij, but this is with much force. It is also called pagan power metal. So yeah, whatever. This band has 2 demos, a full from 2018, and then this one, a duo called Oldal, and then Momort, I think. So yeah, a bunch of stuff. I never heard of them before Bull got hyped me to the fact. This is the back. They also go under the name by Wolfsmaand in some cases, just because they want to, keep it interesting, I guess. Very hard, forceful tone, like I said. The drumming is very detailed in parts here and there. It kind of reminds me of how the drummer for Magua does these bell and cymbal touches here and there. It has a duo, not a duo vocal, but he can go very forceful with his voice, or can be very chanty, almost like Blaisbird Hall, but not as folky, if that makes sense. And then, yeah, very subtle cymbal work here and there, which kind of breaks through that forceful sound, but it's actually a very interesting, good record that sound-wise I haven't heard too much. It is, once again, it has the pagan mark, just like all the Natatala, but it's miles from what Natatala is doing, or not miles, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, out of the two, I can't really choose because I haven't heard the Votana. What I heard from Votana, the last one I heard was the cover with the hands, with the the conductor conducting the war or something like it. But yeah, 2 very good records that came out from that label that I'm going to keep my eye on. It is quite expensive to get them here, but I haven't seen them pop up in any distro, so when they sell out from the label, there's no need for distring. I wished for this one, the next one, I wish my buddy was here, because I actually bought it from Adams, this one. We long story short, I talked about it. The three friends, Adams, Jens, and Dan, gave me their collections to sell to a guy who was doing some weird deal. So I cherry-picked a bunch of stuff that is now on Discogs. Not everything, because I have to check some of the stuff if I want to keep it for myself and pay the dudes, or just sell it for them. But this is one that I, from the start, I know their collections by heart, like I know a lot of people's collection, but this was one that from the start I just needed to have in the collection. And this is Ancient Rites, the Diabolic Serenades. This is black metal history in the sense that, or for me, that this is a Belgian band, started in '88 to keep the team going, from Diest, the town over. There's some little towns in between, but you know, it's a bigger town in my neighborhood, bigger. And this is the original on Midian Creations, and done by Ancient Rites. Cover artwork by Chris Verwimp from Heel, Belgium, so it's steeped in Belgian lore. Like I said, this is the original Midian Creations in Eindhoven, Laagdal, Belgium. Yeah, Bart van der Rijken, Gunther Thijs, and Walter van Kortenberg, or he was a drummer. He sadly passed away, I think, last year. So rest in peace to him. This one is dedicated to that guy. This is, yeah, the Diabolic Serenades from '94. Internet was talking about promo '94, but I couldn't find anything. I think they mixed up this with Enthroned. If I have to pick between, I'd still give the edge to Enthroned, but just because I think Enthroned in style, the way they look, the way they play, the way what they were bringing to the table is a bit more advanced in the black metal style, if you will. This one is, I would say, due to the lyrical content, considered black metal. It is black metal, but it has a lot more speed influence and thrash influence that was, yeah, prevalent at that time, because it was, like I said, started in '88, but then '94. And we're in Diest, so you have to keep that into consideration. But yeah, here's the back. It's a single sleeve. I think this was re-released. I don't have the re-releases. But yeah, very cool looking flyer by Chris Verwimp, who also did some awesome hardcore covers from Lyre and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the satanic lyrics, or the way that what it deals with, kind of pulls it into satanic rejoice, it says here. Kind of pulls it into black metal territory. It has this slight demonic effect put over the vocals, which kind of makes it cheesy, but once again, '94, I don't know. This was the first out of 3 full lengths that after that they had some split materials, but never really had the same impact. This is the Diabolic Serenades from '94. You have the Blasphemia Eternal from '96, and then Fatherland from '98. But yeah, this is the first records. This is the red version. There we go. And this came out of a collection, if I'm not mistaken, this came out of a collection from the guy who run a bar in Mol, another town in higher up in this country, called Het Verzet. I could be mistaken, but that's the lore that is in my head. The sleeve has some wear and some damage, but I guess that's what you get from a black metal record that came out of a bar, or out of the bar scene. What else came with it, or what I connected to it, is the Ancient Rites Thou Art Lord, the Greek band. More on that later. Here we go, Necromancha. Has members of Necromancha, it has members of Rotten Christ, and so on and so on. This is the '93, yes, I think so. I'm pretty sure, yes, I'm pretty sure, '93. The split between those two bands, and this was just before they did their first full length. They have some demo material, some split material, EPs, so yeah, that is one of the earlier splits. And to keep the team going, this is on Molon Lave Records. This is also the red version. Tower Lord sides, the Ancient Rites sides. I paid him fair prices, I think, not the prices. The Ancient Rites is now on Discogs for something like 250 euros. In my opinion, it's definitely not worth 250. But I gave him worth the money I think it's worth, and he was happy with it. So when everybody's happy, is there anything better than that? That was the classic portion. There will be more classics coming up in the last part, which is what I was talking about in the beginning. So that will be part, I think, 3. We are not going into 4, but yeah, we'll keep it a bit shorter because tomorrow is Roadburn and I have to pack still. So that's it. We are going into part 3 and I'll see you there. Part 3, I'm sorry, not 4. Force of Habit. We are not going to have the time to play all 3 of the tapes, so I opted to skip for now because we played some of their stuff. I'm wearing a Vaal shirt, let's not fanboy out. And I put on the Trollskogen Orkish Battleground. Why? Because maybe it's still available. You have to mail into Zwartkunstsmederij just to check it out. This is a tape that was recorded in 2000. I don't know too much about it. The only thing I know that when I put it on Instagram, I got a lot of questions on where I got it because it seems the original tape is going for a lot of money and basically unfindable. I know they have Nacht is one of them, and Thundering Storms, female vocals. It's kind of hard to read because it's white on white. Yeah, Trollskogen is Nacht, recorded autumn 2000. Onward Battle, Orkish Valor, so it has to do with, I guess, J.R.R. Tolkien because it's dedicated to it. Something else on here? No, I'll talk about it more when it pops up in a tape delay, but yeah. Cool tape. It is, yeah, it's hard to describe. Maybe you can hear it. It's not the best sound quality. It is kind of fantasy, dungeon synthy with troll vocals. Maybe something like that. Orkish Battleground, there was a shirt. This is the fan club edition of this masterpiece of original and true Orkish battle music. Available on limited edition cassette, ultra limited battle garment also available. Distributed by Zwartkunstsmederij. There you go. No, there you go. Yes. Came with the flyer. So yeah, was a nice package to pick up from them. There. Then into the last 4 records. So let's delve in. We left Ancient Rites behind and we go from Dist to Verviers, and this is Éole Noire, which means, or it translates to, let's see, where are my, yeah, Black School or something like that, or Black Teachings, something like that, or Dark Teachings. It's, I don't know, my French is, for a Belgian, I'm ashamed that it's so poor, but yeah. What this is 2 demos from Éole Noire, the Profondes Racines, which means the deepest roots or deep going roots. I know that much. This came out on Asgrach, and this is 152, limited to 200 copies. This is basically a demo compilation of the demos from, let's see, Ambivalence from 2008 and Valeur from 2003, 2004. There is some discussion about it. Yeah, 2003 it says here, but I don't know. Very cool inner looking, or inner sheets, text sheets with some very nice artwork. What this is 2 demos put out on a compilation. Sound-wise, kind of romantic, kind of melancholic, kind of depressive. It doesn't feel, I would say it doesn't feel like the Dutch scene kind of has an identity. I don't think the Belgian scene has an identity where you can say this belongs to this or that, but Éole Noire is one of the bands that S from Rempart Immortel did, one of his first bands. He is also behind Effroi, Gouffre, Hertogenwald, Nachtwit, and one of the guys on here, because they are, depending on, once again, what time in their discography, they are with 2 or 3 guys. SS, which is Sydney from Rempart Immortel, Ghoul or Ombre, Svartat, I don't know who is who, it's not clear. And then Diabolic, who helps out on later releases, who is in Oriflamme. So it's that entire bunch of bands. I wouldn't say started here because I haven't delved deep enough, but this is one of their earlier stuff, together with one that is also old as the Nachtwind. Sorry, but yeah, this is one of the earlier ones. Nietzscheism, pessimism, paganism, melancholy. If you boil all those together, and yeah, I would say maybe put a Belgian sauce on it, no, but that's just because I know the other bands that he is doing, so I can kind of hear a sound popping up here and there that is reminiscent of newer stuff he is doing. If you want to learn a bit more, there is a great scene called Ancient Spirit Terror, and this is number 7. It is I think it's a German, but I'm not sure. It is in English, so everybody can read it. It has medieval prophecy on the back, and it has, among others, it has Baksaxa on here. It has Cold Earth. I don't know too much about all the other bands, but it has Effroi, a big article which delves deeper into their entire site, the Verviers site, and then it has an article on the Ancient Hounds. And if you read the article, it's basically stupid to show it because they don't want to have a presence, but yeah, then why put out music if you don't want presence? So Ancient Spirit Terror, this is widely available, and it's actually a very good written zine that gives some insight into that part of the Belgian scene. So if you are interested, pick that up. Éole Noire, the weirder thing about this is that SS, if you will, is credited as a vocalist, but the vocals on this are very sparse, if any. They are mostly buried in the mix, but it is mostly an instrumental band, which kind of makes it even stand out more, I guess, because I don't know too many instrumental black metal bands, and let alone in Belgium. So kind of a unique take on the genre for Éole Noire. And like I said, it's the first thing I hear by these guys, and it's 2 early demos from like 2004, 2003, and 2008. So yeah, I'm on the discovery, so cheers to them. I talked to him through mail a bunch when I ordered from Rempart Immortel, which is a label that does so much good stuff. Their own material and the re-release, like I have the Barnhead Bible that I showed in the tape delay. They have Sat Kraai, they have some French stuff that is very well done, very nicely, yeah, put together tapes. Then another demo compilation, and this is the demo and the debut from 94 and 96 of Forest, and this is self-titled. I don't know if it's a bootleg or not. My knowledge on the entire Blazebird Hall scene, if you will, or if the entire crew is, yeah, I am in the starting points or in the starting blocks just to get to know all of this, but officially released with the permission of Das Dart, designed by Ragnarok, but I don't know what label put it out. It's not on here. It should have been on Darker Than Black, and that's why it is considered a bootleg maybe, but it's limited to 500. This is 259. This is the back. It's very dark gray and black material. This popped up, I think, on Asgraag, if I'm not mistaken, and I decided to put it in. Yeah, 4 tracks on each side. Oh no, 3 tracks on the other side. Full version, tracks from the demo tape and Demonized Forest. From the demo tape, Demonized Forest. Sound-wise, it is Russian black metal. It is the Blazebird Hall, the entire scene, all those bands like Briny Cult, all those things kind of had a sound of their own. When they talk about influences, they talk about stuff like Darkthrone, of course, the more necro-sounding Norwegian stuff that came out at the time, because like I said, this was mid-90s. Seems to be the time period I am stuck in at the moment. It is very slow pacing and brooding. Most of the tempos are waltz-like tempos. The drummer kind of has this love for counter beats within the drum work, which kind of has that. Yeah, it kind of makes it repetitive, but very angular. But it's still a waltz tempo, so it kind of is conflicting like the this one, but it kind of pulls it off. That doesn't. It has those swaying guitars. Yeah, and even in the faster parts, it kind of keeps that waltz-like tempo. It feels a bit folkish, but without flutes or anything. Vocals kind of mixes in the harsher vocals that you can hear on many black metal records, but it also has a Urfaust kind of vibe to the vocals. Like I said, they got some influences from Darkthrone, Panzerfaust era Darkthrone here and there, but I think the Isengard 20 that record is also very influential on something like this. I wouldn't say on the entire Blazebird Hall, but definitely the Forest stuff. Yeah, it's the counter beats in the drums that is switched up with just forward blasting, and then it just destroys everything. It is a very good record. It is a very interesting scene, but I just know too little about it to really speak, you know, with confidence about it. I know a little, but I need to know a lot more, and that goes for, I guess, not the next record, but maybe the one after too. But yeah, like I said, I'm just scratching the surface on all of these things, so no shame in my game, I guess. I never had, and I don't have now. Then the second to last, and we are going to the US for this one, and then one stop in France and we're done. This is Lascobic. There we go. With, let's see, I can't read this for shit. Asgard Mysteries. I don't know what that means, but it's in ruins, I guess. Asgard Mysteries. Lascobic. This is from 2008. This band got on my radar. How? I think in the last two videos we did Dead Hymns. It rears its beautiful head, or ugly head if you will, again in this chapter, because Lascobic is a band that came from the ashes of Angkor Wat, which was once again an American band that I think did one demo named, did I write it down? I think Funeral Agency. No, that's the label. I didn't write the title down. I have it here. It's the red one, but I'm blanking on what it's called now. It's done on tape by Funeral Agency in 2006. One demo. Oh, here we go. A Pulse by... God damn it. I can't read it. A Pulse by something, nothing. Very sorry. That already had the style where some bands are now. Like if you remember 2 or 3 videos ago, I showed the white record that had the Persian influences from Obscurant Visions, that trance-inducing, repetitive, riff-driven, you know, just building up piece. The Angkor Wat demo had the same thing. I think the Lascobic, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. They went a bit further into, because we are now talking 2008, I think the early 2000s, the Forest reissues were coming out. They take a lot of notice from stuff like Blazebird Hall. They were also on a Polish label, so it's Blazebird Hall from Russia, it's the Polish scene with the Temple of Full Moon that these guys are incorporated into their sound. It becomes a lot more colder, the meditative stuff kind of disappears completely. It still has repetitive stuff. It is cold, distant, it has croaking vocals, the emphasis on the tremolo riff, but it has a more open glacial sound, if you will, than the repetitive, meditative sound that the Anchor Bot has. They go through one more change and then they become Svetovid, which I knew through the Klaxon label. And that is in the same vein as Cirrus, Grand Mood, Castrel, Furdiduk, that entire scene. Klaxon picked that one up. Nature's Fury from 2013, a record that I showed, I think it was still in the color videos below, so also a very good one, but it becomes more hateful, more disdain for humanity, if you will, that entire thing. It goes from, yeah, it goes from meditative to full-on hate black metal. That's the best way to describe it. But yeah, this is the mid-career for the entire thing, if you will. Another if you will. A lot of stuff on here. It has 7 tracks on side A, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks on the side B, 4 more on the side C. So yeah, it is a bunch of material put together on this thing. Is it a comp? I'm not sure. I don't know. By the time they get to Svetovid, I think they are in the top tier. I put Klaxon high above the top tier of American black metal. I put them in that same category. Comes with this insert. This is a great tape. There you go. On this recording, Laskovic is VGC and ZVH. Asgard Mysteries, a compilation, there you go, of first 2 demo tapes and some extra bonus material from this same tune, I think, yes, exclusive to this compilation. Side A, hymns 1 to 7 are from Gesamtkunstwerk demo. This is actually the second demo tape, and side B are from the Gunshots, King of Our Finland Streets, I think, which is the debut demo tape. Side C, previously unreleased at the time, for Asgard Mysteries. All music during 2004-2007. And yeah, this came out in 2020, I think, or 2021. The layout is done in 2020, but yeah, finally have some of their stuff, because you don't see this pop up in distros too much or anywhere. I haven't seen any because I would have bought it. Yeah, 2 black vinyl records. There is a bunch of promo that falls out. Let's see what this is. Oh yeah, this is the Asgard. I don't know how to pronounce it one. It's the Hawaiian dude, but I don't know. Is there anything else? Ifernach, we have seen that a lot. Nah, nothing worth showing actually. But yeah, Laskovic. Check out if I have to give you, I was going to say if I have to give you a tip on where to start at Svetovid, but I think you can start anywhere. Maybe start at Angkor Wat and just work your way through it. Yeah, Laskovic is, yeah, it's their mid-career, if you will, stop, and then they go into, yeah, I don't know. I just explained it. Why am I re-explaining it? I have no idea. The weird thing is that they are from San Fransisco, which is the sunniest place, or is supposed to be the sunniest place in the US. Yeah, they don't make sunny music, that's for sure. And then the last records, and I have to open some reading material, and I'll show you in a minute what I was reading. Where is it? Yes, here we go. The last one, and once again a band I scratched the surface on. I mentioned Kristallnacht in the intro to this video as one of the bands that is just too good that even I despise everything about the ideology. Even I can overlook the fact that is happening because the music is so good. I know it sounds like an excuse. It is an excuse, but I don't care. It's too good not to mention. Plus, I am putting together a puzzle in my head, I guess, or with this channel. The entire I'm trying to put together the puzzle of what black metal is, where it started, where it comes from, what it is becoming, all that shit. That's what I'm trying to do. So to leave out a gigantic portion of influential bands just because of an ideology is not my stuff. I don't know. It kind of seems weird. But yeah, you know why it's hard to talk about this shit, because it sucks. Anyway, this is Seigneur Voland, one of the French bands that is rapidly becoming one of my favorites. I know I talked about Caverna and Necropole, all those bands, the LLN. I talked some on that, not nearly enough. Once again, I'm going back, not forward. But this is, this is something. When I was reading this, Bardo Archaeology, I think this is volume, I'm pretty sure this is volume 2. I saw they had an article on Seigneur Voland. If you start delving into this band, the NS seems to be the least of your worries. It deals in grave desecration. They were digging up corpses. They did a lot of shit. I urge you to, if you think Norway is a demented scene, I urge you to pick up this zine and just, you know, get into the thing that is, that started at Funeral, which I showed the tape, but I never showed because I didn't have anything from Seigneur Voland. This is Consumatum Est, and this is a compilation of basically all their material, because they don't have as much as a band from that status or that career should have. They started in '94, I guess, and they were Funeral, and they had a bunch of splits. Not Funeral and not Seigneur Voland never made it past the demo and EP stages, just because that was the intention. They never had the intention to make a full, because they are under the impression, or their opinion is that the true essence of what black metal is in those demo stages, or is in those EP stages. And when the full length comes, it kind of breaks the magic in some cases. Their words, not mine. But I can follow them to some degree. Like I said, the comparison to Norway is there. All these guys went to jail multiple times, and not Norwegian jail, French jail. But yeah, it is insanity reigns supreme in these parts, or within these bands. They the Funeral was part of a group like the Temple of Full Moon that is called the Sacred Order of the Emerald. But once again, I am just scratching the surface here. Infernal Eternal French Black Metal Cult, 1999-2002. They stopped and restarted a bunch of times. I know they played just before COVID, I think 2019, they played in Belgium with, I think, Caverne and a Belgian band, but they canceled, and I don't know what the replacement was. I had tickets for another show, and it's one of the more regretful evenings that I didn't get to see that show, because the sounds they are bringing is, the vocals in this thing are maybe the MVP. It kind of slithers like a snake. It has this violent hiss that I haven't heard anywhere. The drumming, I talked about bell sounds in the last video. When this drummer, I don't know his name, when he hits his bell, it sounds like somebody is hammering an anvil. They have such a good sound that, I love this picture. They have such a good sound that reverberates throughout the entire scene, or entire scenes later in the later parts of the 90s and into the 2000s, with bands like Sargeist, for example, or Horna, those kind of bands that members of Seigneur Voland actually helped create music for them or played with them. So they are a cornerstone, not just for French black metal, but for black metal in general. And that is just me, like I said, scratching the surface. So there is so much more to discover. It is a comp, so sound-wise it's kind of all over the place. It depends on where they got the material, I guess. But yeah. LF from Funeral and Kristallnacht, like I said, and Xaphan, which seems to be the major guy behind this band. Yeah, it's insane, man. Here is the track list, or the list where all the releases are divvied up into this entire thing. Anything more? There is a very interesting part. They have this noisy ambient synth part where it seems they have a crow as a vocalist. It is very disturbing. It's one of those things that if you would have heard in the 90s, I sometimes talk about music that would scare you. This was one, or would be one of the things that would scare me. There's, like I said, the crow vocals. They have this weird voice that comes through the distortion, that just, you can hear it come through the bass speakers or something like it. And then it has this evil sounding drone. And it kind of reminds me, or it seems that this could be something where Sun got the IDs for Black One, for example. It kind of has that vibe. But yeah, it is one of the bigger influences on the entire scene, like I said. I'm hunting for other stuff. I have the self-titled EP, this one on cassette. And then the live records is coming in, but yeah, even the live record is top tier. Sound-wise, it's a soundboard recording from a show they did in Holland, I think, I'm not sure. But yeah, there is going to be more on this, and like I said, this is the first step into the entire, yeah, they were called the, what did I say, Sacred of the Order, Emerald Order. Later, that was the Funeral days. Now they are the Concilium, or they were the Concilium, with a bunch of other bands. Bands linked to them are Oslum in Fame, Desolation Triumphalis, Kristallnacht, like I said, Blessed in Sin, Finis Gloria Dei, Funeral. It just grows and grows and grows. But yeah, if you are into very well played classic French, yeah, slightly disturbing or very disturbing, I mean, read the article stuff, then Seigneur Voland. I'm not teaching anybody anything new, I guess, but that is your band, and that is the killer of the bunch, or the last records. But yeah, once again, that is Bardo Archivology. It is the best of, if you will, of Bardo methodology. That is it. The tape is still playing, but it is a very long tape, so I'm not going to talk at length. But Adams reminded me that we did a White Filth tip. Now, I don't have a item per se, because I kind of averted my gaze from newer stuff at the moment, but I have a lot of people, or I hear a lot of people asking the question where I get medieval prophecy stuff from, like when I showed the Enthroned box or the tapes from Selenite Scrolls. It seems that prices are not skyrocketing, but they are becoming expensive now. If I can plug Babylon Doomcult one more time, he has a distro that is slowly dwindling down. He told me it seems that he is picking back up, but anyway, he has a lot of the stuff, like the Moon and 7 Inches are still in his catalog. A lot of the tapes are still in his catalog. So the White Filth tip for the week is, if you're into medieval prophecy and you want to have the records or the tapes for cheap, for regular prices, hit up Babylon Doomcult. There we go. Cheers to everybody. The last video, I don't know what happened. I think the bots took over, because in 2 days we had 2.5k. That never happened. Even the Worm interview, which is one of the best, didn't reach that height. So either someone blabbed, or yeah, like I said, the bots took over. Once again, this is a emerald circle or a green circle. I hope you get the reference. It is an Instagram reference video, so I hope you still dig this or are into some of this stuff. Like I said, it's not about the ideology for me, it's just about the insanely good music these guys are playing. And yeah, even they denounced the NS stuff and are just, you know, anti-everything, if you will. That's it. My throat is hurting still from the fucking Wu flu, so I'm going to finish this one and start packing for Roadburn, and I'll see you guys, I hope, next week for an interview, or otherwise we are looking at a big ass tape delay. Thank you to everybody for the support, for the nice fucking trades. I mean, the Logokum shirts, mind blowing. And just, you know, to the viewers, do me a favor, keep the comments coming in. It seems Adams told me that for the engagements in these videos, comments are gold. So please ask questions, give me some tips. I can use tips on where to go next, but yeah, I'll get there in the end. It's slowly becoming a life work, but yeah, there we go. I think the camera cut off in the last part, so yeah, I'm going to Orcish Battleground some more, and I'll see you next week.